Hi everyone, episode 5. Wow. I'm making pretty good progress. I did set up a little bit, but I wanted to show you the couple of things that I did do. This one's slightly crooked, but I think it'll still work. So what did I do? Since signing off yesterday, nothing there. I'm going to have to try something a little different in here. I might add a touch of glue into the corner just to make that a little bit harder for things to fall out when you're flipping the pages. Just a little something you have to keep in mind. So in here I added the tab. So I have this cute little punch. And it just does that little rounded cut. That's it. I mean, it's really tiny. How big is that? 3/4 of an inch. So it makes a nice little tab pull. I also often do this. I'll cut a strip 3/4 wide and maybe an inch long, and I punch both ends and then fold it over top of, like, say something like this. You can fold it over the top and then punch a hole through it and you get a cute little tab. I don't even know where I got that. I've had it for a long time. So I added that, and then on this page I've set up, so this is the opposite, goes in here like so. I've cut this piece, and this is done with Cherish Martha Stewart punch. So it will do like, what do they call that? It's the straight edge and the corner, and they meet up. You can make mats out of them. Punch around? I think they're called punch around. Anyway, I see they're carrying some Martha Stewart stuff again at Michael's. A little surprising, but okay, hang on. I gotta pause for a second. Sorry, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. I am getting better. Thanks for all the well wishes. I still sound majorly stuffed up, but it's for sure still in my sinuses, but I'm getting better. I have way more energy, so that's a good thing. Anyway, I decided to put this on this side, and what I'm going to do is tape the top so that it will flip up. So this part will stick up, and then I want to put, I cut out or cut down my, I did these index cards when I first started using Photoshop. It was, something I played with. I'm not, overly over the moon. Part of it is the fact that I used that, I think it's called almond paper color. Oh, we're going to get the sun. Hang on, let me move the curtain a little bit. Trust me, I'm not complaining about the sun. I love it. We've had so much rain the last couple days, and today's like the calm before the storm. Apparently we're getting a ton more rain. We had a storm last night. So, what was I saying? Michael's paper. So it's not the best for printing on, which is probably why I got this result. It is what it is. I like the yellowness that it came out, so I thought it would go well. And I used that sort of construction paper to create an envelope. And I cut the pointy part off because I didn't need to glue the whole thing, just that little part. And what I plan on doing is gluing this down right edge to edge, because if I go closer, you won't be able to flip the envelope up. Now, the envelope will stick out a tiny bit, but it's all good because this part sticks out farther. So I know this will be fine. And I'm going to leave the top part of it open, and so you'll be able to have a pocket back there as well. So I'm going to go and do that. Not sure how big I want the pocket. And I'm not quite sure how loud I'm talking because I kind of can't hear myself. My ears are plugged up. I love this time of year. Okay. So my husband and I were talking this morning about whether we should change our holiday destinations. You know, we go to Hawaii every year, and I know a lot of people say, why do you always go to the same place, blah, 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 right? If I was 20 years younger, I probably would be a little bit more adventurous. But it took us so very long to actually afford to go on a holiday. I have to tell you, I don't know if I've told you this before, but my husband and I were married 25 years before we actually took a holiday. No joke. We went away camping in Osoyoos, which, if you've never been to Osoyoos, you guys, it's a must-do destination. And if you plan on visiting Canada, for all those people who are watching from different parts of the world, and you want to experience a unique province, which is what I live in. Now, don't get me wrong, my son lives in Alberta, so like I'm not down on any other provinces. And quite frankly, I've only been, where have I been? Alberta, a few places in Alberta. I've been to Nova Scotia, which is clear across the country. Takes forever to get there. And, you know, like, I can't comment on other parts of Canada because I've never visited them. I have friends who have, and my brother just actually was in Montreal. That's a destination I really want to go to. The history there is amazing. But, see, I digress. My head is still fuzzy. I like that. So anyway, what was I saying? Oh, yes. If you're coming to Canada and you want to experience something quite unique, British Columbia is quite unique because we're on the West Coast and you can pretty much find everything here. It's not as cold as other parts of the country. And it doesn't get overly hot like other parts of the country. But we have the mountains, so skiing here is amazing, which you can get in other parts of the country. I mean, Montreal and you name it, there are other places. Alberta's got great skiing. And they don't, you have to travel a bit, of course, because it's pretty flat. But they do have the Rockies kind of end there, so they do have ski slopes and stuff. But we also, because we're West Coast, we're on the ocean, so there's all kinds of, there's surfing, there's boating, there's, everything there. But what's unique is that we actually have a desert. And most people don't think of Canada and think of a desert. Yeah, most people think of igloos, right? So, now I can make fun because I'm Canadian. I'm good. I know people think that, yeah, we live in the coldest part of the world. Yeah, we really don't, you guys. New York gets way more snow than we do, let me tell you. And anyway, this debate about Canada and how cold it is and the weather and how extreme it is. Yeah, there are parts of Canada like that, for sure. But that's why, when I say come to BC just to see how awesome it is. If you're a wine person, Yeah, huge wine country up there. I love going up there to Osoyoos and Oliver. Not Oliver. Yeah, Oliver. And there's all kinds of wineries up there, and you get these cool wine tours, and they've done a lot of them where they have beautiful resorts there, so you can actually, holiday right there at the winery. That's my kind of holiday. Anyway, it's definitely unique province to come to. And, yeah. But I've been to places in the world that are just as unique and just as beautiful. I love traveling along the coast and down through Oregon, and oh man, it's gorgeous down there. I've driven as far as California. My husband's gone farther. But, when I was a kid, parents, 3 kids, no money, right? So, I have been to New York, and we landed in Chicago. That was a funny thing. We landed in Chicago. We were going on our way to Virginia, Bedford, Virginia, and we had friends that lived there. And my dad, to save money, now this was way back in the day, decided that, we would connect, right? Get a connecting flight. Back then, it was cheaper to get connecting flights. Actually, now I think they're more expensive. It's nuts. It's cheaper to fly direct. But regardless, this is what Dad decided to do. Now, of course, I was young. And when we took that trip, I honestly, the last leg of it, we flew into one airport. Then we had to grab a taxi and get driven to the next airport. So we did drive through Chicago, like breakneck speed. The taxi driver was totally crazy, but we had connecting flights and we were going to miss it. Not realizing, of course, Dad didn't know anything about Chicago, so he didn't know that, it's crazy traffic, and I've never flown into a city where the sky was orange when you flew into it. It was like this ring around the city, and you flew through this great big orange ring. And so then we went like mad to the next airport, and thought we were going to die after that, because we get on this DC-7, I think it was, and it made more noises than you can imagine. Maybe that's why I don't like flying. I never thought about that, but you know what? That could be. I honestly thought, this is it. We're going down. Everything rattled and moved. It was so scary, I'm telling you. I did not enjoy that last leg of the trip. Anyway, we made it. When we landed, I was seated at the wing. And when we landed, I almost screamed, because part of the wing came up, and I thought the plane's falling apart, not realizing that on the old planes, I guess that's a brake. These things pop up, and it slows the plane down. I thought the plane was falling apart. I really did. But then again, I was young and ill-informed, let's put it that way. So I've been to Virginia, and then we drove from Virginia all the way to New York. This was so much fun, I tell you. They had 3 kids. My parents had 3 kids. So 4 adults and 6 kids in a station wagon. Of course, that's back in the day where you didn't need seat belts. Wasn't a law back then. And they had that cool old station wagon where they had these flip-up seats in the back part. Of course, as kids, thought that was just the bee's knees, right? Totally loved that idea. And, you know, we piled into the back of this, and it was so much fun. Lots of driving, and so then, you know, I think we only spent the day in New York. Can you imagine? We didn't even stay overnight anywhere. We drove back again. Yeah, I don't know what my parents were thinking, but anyway, we did, and we had a blast. Of course, we lost my brother, my older brother. That was funny. How can I describe him? I know I tried before, but my brother is unique. He pretty much didn't have any social skills growing up. I think he still doesn't have any social skills, really. He's, now he probably, you know, if he was born nowadays, he would be ADHD for sure, 100%. And so he was, let's say, unique. Anyway, he would get in these. I don't know if you've ever dealt with anybody who has ADHD. My son, I should say, had a mild form of ADD, and I did a lot of research and stuff, you know, to help him out, and because he lacks social skills in school. He's totally great now, but he most certainly did lack social skills. I'm wondering if I should use one of those in there. Oh, I know. I got this. Got this nice piece of paper. I think I'll fold it maybe just in 3. Anyway, he would get these weird sort of, how can you say? You could talk to him and he wouldn't hear you. You know? Like, he'd be so focused on whatever it was that he just wouldn't really hear what you were saying to him. And anyway, I forget where we were, at a mall, I think. And we all piled back in the car and we started driving away, and then Mom turned around and she started counting heads and she went, "Whoa, wait a minute, we're missing someone." And yeah, sure enough, my older brother was totally missing. So my mom said, drive right back to the mall and go right back to where we had parked. I guarantee you he'll be there. And he was. He was sitting in the stall that the car had been parked in. He knew exactly where we were supposed to be, that is, and he just sat and waited for us. But, you know, like, wow, what person does that? You know what I mean? Like, he was different. Yeah. So, that was a funny memory. I can't believe none of us actually noticed that he was gone. But he was like that, you know, he was a loner, and yeah, that was just Colin. He's still like that. I don't even know where he lives, to be honest with you. He's, you know, on Facebook all the time, right? And my Facebook, hang on one sec, where's my... I'm on Facebook, but my Facebook is just for family. And, you know, because we live in different parts, so I like to stay in touch. And anyway, I have no idea where he moved, because, you know, he's like that. He doesn't tell you. Yeah. And so I have no idea. I know he's still in Alberta somewhere. That's all I know. And, you know, even when you message him and, you know, you ask him a bunch of questions, my younger brother and I, this drives us nuts, right? Because we're pretty open people, clearly, because I'm kind of telling you my life story here. We're pretty open people, Dave and I, and you ask us questions, we talk, we chat, you know, that's just what we do. Whereas my older brother, you know, you send him a message and you're like, okay, well, where are you living? You know, like, are you working? What's going on? He had a health scare a couple of years ago now, I think it is. He had a mild heart attack, and he had to get some shunts put in. And anyway, he called me, which blew me away because, like I say, he doesn't really talk to anybody. So we send him these messages and, you know, try and find out. Well, you get one-word answers from him. That's it. That's all you get from him. Frustrating as all get out. I really love that way that turned out. Oh, that's what I was going to do on that too. Anyway, that's you know, you don't get to pick your family, people. You get what you're given, and you deal with it. That's really what it's about. And, you know, should he need anything ever, he knows I'm there. I'm a phone call away. And, yeah, I want to do this. That'll look pretty, won't it? Oh, wait a minute. Sorry. No, that's too much. I don't think I like that either. No. Definitely not. Yeah, I think I like the blue. I think that's the reason I cut it out. So when you do stuff like this, you can always take your heat gun and melt the edge, just the end, so it doesn't fray. It's usually what I do. Doesn't take much. And that's really pretty. Okie dokie. I think I will put it right on the ribbon this time, though. So, getting back to the holidaying, my husband had gone up to see his mom, and she comes with us every year on our trips. And, you know, she's still pretty young. I think she just turned, when did she just turn? 75, I think. 75? 76. Yeah, 76. And so, you know, she's still definitely travel age still. Although she keeps making noises about, well, this might be my last trip. And then we start planning our next one to Hawaii, and she's like, well, you know, I'd like to go. Because really, we love it. We have such a good time together. We all get along really well. And we really enjoy having her come with us. And I mean, let's face it, people, you know, people don't live forever. So we've always thought to ourselves, you know, let's do this for as long as we possibly can, because you just don't know. I might put a booklet in there too. Maybe not. Let's take it all out and add that little bit of glue and see if that makes a difference. I'm going to slide this out first. So he was up there talking to her about, you know, maybe changing our destination, you know, because, I mean, for Canadians, Hawaii is not a cheap trip. Let's say that. I know how to do it on the cheap because I've been so many times. But the dollar is the dollar. You can't escape that. And, you know, going to Mexico is what we were thinking of. I've never been. Quite honestly, I've never wanted to go. That's the honest truth. It just doesn't appeal to me whatsoever. I know it has beautiful beaches. I mean, my brother's been a couple times, and my mother-in-law's been, I don't know, 5, 6 times, and But, you know, like even she said, I don't think Ken would like it because we are, hang on one sec, here I go. Sorry. We are adventurers, you know, when we go on holidays. We like to get in the car and drive around and I mean, this might be totally, completely wrong, but we just don't feel like we would feel safe, you know, and I, please don't get offended by me saying this. I'm sure there's plenty of you out there who go all the time and absolutely love it, and, you know, that's wonderful. I'm not saying anything against it. I'm really not. I'm just saying how we feel. So, like I said to him, well, if we know ahead of time, if we plan on going back to Hawaii, then that's awesome, because we found a condo building on Maui that we really love, and it's small. There's only 52 units. It's beachfront, and I mean, you know, prices are prices, right? However, when I'm looking at hotels here on the island, you know, like I'm on the mainland, so when we want to go on a short trip, we love Vancouver Island, but I'm telling you, the accommodations are ridiculously priced, especially when I compare what I get in Hawaii with what I get on the island, you know? Like we went to Tofino, I told you guys that, and Tofino is absolutely stunning, and I enjoyed myself, like, yeah, it was beautiful. But most of those nice places that we'd want to stay in, you know, beachfront, you're looking at $350 to $450 a night. A night. Like, that is retarded. And I don't have that kind of money. The only reason we went is because one night was paid for us, so that's why we went. But otherwise, there's no way I'd go. And, you know, when we go to Hawaii, we stay in a nice condo, and so, of course, you figure you should be able to in Canada. I mean, come on, right? I'm going to open that up just a wee bit. Glue seeped a little bit too far. So, anyway, I think that's going to be better. Okay. Anyway, we talked about it this morning. Would we stay at the place that we usually stay in? Well, we always rent a 2-bedroom because Carol comes with us. So, this place that we stay at, it has this, most of the units are run by a management company. Not all of them, but most of them are by the same management company. They have a very good reputation. They also have this really awesome deal that if you book again, your dates are guaranteed if you're booking the same dates as the ones you're staying at. So that is awesome, because it's really tough to find a nice condo that you really, really like, and then to get it again the next year. Usually they're booked well in advance, like more than a year out. Well, this management company, you can't book more than a year out, for one, so that makes it more fair. And then, but you can reserve the same unit and at a discount, and when you book direct, you don't pay VRBO fee. So I'm like, okay, I saved almost $400 doing that, and so I was pretty happy about that. Anyway, I said to Ken, well, you know, we better decide before we go if that's what we're going to do, because then we can just, they contact you like, I don't know, a week or so before you check out to ask if, you know, you're going to rebook, and they'll give you the deal, right? So you kind of need to know ahead of time. And oh, I hate it when it does that. Darn it. Scrap paper, hang on. So, long story short, no, it wasn't. It was a long story, period. I think we're going back to Hawaii, guys. Yeah, we haven't even gone yet, but that's how it goes. You save like a ton of money. Oh, look at that. See, now I would have lost that going, where did it go? Where did it go? Yeah, it's stuck to the back of the paper. That's too funny. Anyway, I know someone's going to leave a message. Well, where do you stay? We stay in Kihei. We started with Ka'anapali, and it's beautiful in Ka'anapali. It's very green, and yeah, it's nice. But that's where they have a lot of high-end resorts over there. Yeah, we're not high-end people. Now, I'm not saying that I wouldn't be if I had the money, but I don't have the money. So where we stay, I love it. I mean, it was funny because when we were in Ka'anapali, somebody had said, I think it was somebody from work, for Ken's work, had said, oh, why don't you check out Kihei? Well, this was our first time actually exploring on Maui. Because up to then we'd always done Oahu. But we thought, you know, we're getting older and I'm kind of tired of the traffic noise, and you know, it seems every 5 minutes you hear a siren. And so, yeah, we were over it. We decided let's go to Maui. And I'd been to Maui before, stayed, but I was quite young. I think I was 15. Stayed for almost 2 weeks, I guess. But, you know, at 15, I mean, I didn't travel around. I didn't have a driver's license, and you couldn't rent a car at that age anyway. And so we didn't get a lot of exploring done. Anyway, I said to Ken, well, you know, let's try Maui. It's definitely slower. So we did. Well, we didn't know areas or anything when we first went. And so we chose, well, basically I chose, because I do all the planning. We chose Ka'anapali. And the place was nice. I mean, we had beachfront, so it was quite nice. But, you know, it wasn't cheap. It was rather pricey. And somebody had said to us, well, you should check out Kihei because it's cheaper. Well, we had a rental car, because honestly, if you're on Maui, you need a rental car. It's not like Oahu. Oahu, you can get away with no car at all. And the bus goes everywhere. So we had a rental car. We decided, well, let's drive into Kihei and see what all the fuss is about, right? So we did, and we drove around, and honestly, I wasn't super impressed. And I thought, oh, it's awful dry over here. Well, of course, on Ka'anapali, it rained every day for 4 days. And, you know, we go for the sun, right? And I don't mind rain, honestly. I'm from Vancouver, so kind of get used to it. Hang on, here I go again. Sorry, that was a bit longer. Yeah, like I was saying, we weren't terribly impressed when we drove around. We thought it was very dry looking and stuff. Anyway, I don't know what made us look again, but I had found this condo, and all the pictures online were really nice. Very homey, very beachy. They had done a nice beach theme. Big surprise, but you know, it was nice. And it was right beach front. And boy, you can't get that on Oahu. Not ones we can afford, that's for sure. So we did one year. You know, we splurged. Oh my goodness, it was so expensive. And really not impressed. Everything was so old. I mean, come on. You know, back in the day, when all the bathrooms had gold trim everywhere, you know, like your shower doors, right? They were set with a gold-looking, fake gold-looking trim. Well, that's what this place was like. It had cupboard fronts that were falling off, and curtains were ripped, and, you know, like, honestly, if you knew me, I don't complain on holidays because I feel blessed to go, period. And everything is good, and as soon as that plane touches down, I find my aloha, and nothing bothers me. Nothing. And I just have a good time, and I just ignore a lot of stuff because I figure, hey, you know, in the grander scheme of things, could be worse, right? But this place, it's the first time I ever had to leave. I felt like I had to leave a bad review. And I don't do that. That's just not me. But, and even my bad review was apologetic because, well, I'm Canadian, so, you know, that's a given. Seriously, though, really, I was apologetic. I just couldn't bring myself to be mean. But I did say, you know, I just could not let something like this go because, you know, I would appreciate an honest review because that's a lot of money that you're spending to take a trip. And, you know, if you're only reading good reviews, then, you know, you're super disappointed when you get there. Well, turned out that the unit that I thought we had rented, that wasn't it. The pictures, they only had the pictures of the second room, not the first room. And I thought that was the room we were getting. Well, it turns out, no. They automatically assigned us the less expensive room. And I'm thinking, less expensive? Are you kidding? I've never paid this amount of money for a room, ever. And if I had seen, I wouldn't have. There's no way I would have. However, the view was to die for. Yeah, you had all of Waikiki Beach, you know, so there's always an upside. And it had a huge lanai. Literally, you could get 8 people on this lanai, which is kind of unheard of there. But anyways, live and learn. That's just the way things are. So that was fine. We did our thing, and we wouldn't do it again. That's pretty much our thinking now, right? But I think I want to add a little something here. Maybe a little tuck spot. Maybe just a little stamping. I don't know. Well, let's go through this, and I'm going to glue the rest of those pieces in. Did I put the envelope back? No, I didn't. Where did I put? Oh, here it is. Okay. I know there are things to glue in the back part here. I just have to find them. Oh, yeah. I was going to do this. Now, I think it might be too wide. Well, maybe a little. I think I'm going to trim those down just a wee bit. The other thing, you know, that I kind of remind my husband of is it takes time for us to save. And if I know in advance that we're going to go again, then I can get on that and start saving. And at this point, our trips are not as expensive as they used to be because we've been so many times that there's nothing we need to buy. The only thing we're bringing home is rum. My husband has fallen in love with Koloa rum. If you guys go to Kauai, you should go to this Koloa Ranch, and it's a beautiful ranch. I think I've told you guys this before, but I don't know, maybe I haven't. I talk about Hawaii all the time, so quite possibly I have. But anyway, they have a rum tasting room there. So if you like rum, wow, it is great rum. I bought a bottle there, and it's mixed with coffee. Wowzers, is it ever good? You don't need it. You don't need to put anything with it. It just tastes great. Now I think I'm going to run a ribbon through this. So let me think now. Let's grab okay, what did I do with it? Oh, there it is. This is a Martha Stewart ribbon punch. Right there. Ooh, that's gonna show. It's gonna punch through. So I wonder if I can bend it without messing it up. Well, what I could do, maybe, that'll punch right in the same hole, I think. Well, I just might be reprinting something, you never know. And I'll give it a go. Haha, it worked. Success. Yeah, if I go to the next one. Are they? Yeah, so that's right. Okay. Awesome. I love it when a plan comes together. Movie trivia. Okay. Now I am going to run some tape. This might be, hang on. Do you ever find yourself doing that? They're identical. Why would I pick the bottom one? I don't know. It's identical. I do cuckoo things. I think. Yep, pause time. Okay, we'll see how long I can last. Alright, this is always so stressful, this part. There. and that's too thick, I think. Oop. Okay, I gotta go get some water or something. You guys, I'll be right back. Okay, we'll see if that helps. Now, I'm not sure I want to use that one or if I want to use the yellow one. I've been using a lot of blue. It would be nice to use some yellow, I think. Oh, that's pretty. Let's use yellow. I also did some experimenting yesterday off camera, and I wanted to see if I could color some ribbon. Was looking for yellow or blue, and I have a spray that is it is blue. It's called Water Slide. I think it's what is it? Tattered Angels spray. And I'll show you what color. Oh, I picked up some yellow too. So that's the color that it came out. And that's not bad, right? I think that looks really good. This is the second coat though. I actually sprayed it again on top of paper towel that had the yellow. So it picked up a little bit of yellow, which is fine. I don't mind that. Anyway, but I did this. So this looks really nasty, right? This was Lemon Zest. It's also a Tattered Angels. And why am I holding it upside down? I don't know. I keep forgetting. It almost looks like a greeny gold now. But I added this one. Let me grab it because I always forget the name of it. Oh yeah. Walnut ink. To darken it because it was like lemon yellow and it wasn't the right color at all. I wanted it, I don't know, more antique-y looking. So I mixed some up, and this is the result I got after experimenting. Now this is on white, so you know, depending on what color you're spraying on to, like if you did cream, it probably come out a different color, a slightly different color. But I like it. I think it goes quite well, so I'll use it. I did a couple different ones with that. So anyway, now I do want a bow, so let's work backwards here for a second. Ooh, all of a sudden I'm feeling super hot. Okay, so I just need a little bit to wrap around the edge there. And then I'll do the same on that side. It must be the sun, Beakers. Very warm. Plus I've got the door closed into my craft room, so the vent for the furnace heats up this room pretty quick. Okay, and then pull that. So I didn't bother melting the back because you're not going to see it anyway. I think I might just do a knot this time. Yeah, I think I like that. Let's see how flat I can get it. Okay. Now, want it that way instead. And let's do the bottom. Glad to see so many of you taking advantage of the free downloads. I don't really talk too much about the store, other than saying it's in the store. But I'm not sure everyone's aware, because I do get quite a few comments on they can't find something in the store. But when you first go to the web page, right at the top there's a search box. Now what I do when I add anything to the store, I add a lot of different tags, and tags are words that will, if you put in the search box, it should pull up what you're looking for. So say for instance you're looking for a passion for pink and you can't remember the name, but you know it's pink. If you typed in pink and just hit enter, it will come up, and anything else that's related to that will come up. So I hope you take advantage of that feature. It makes life a lot easier. If you like to see everything, where there's a title, so say it says digital kits. If you look to the right of that, you'll see, I think it says more, something like that. Click on that button and it opens up all of the kits that I have. So don't think that just what you're seeing on the front page is all there is. There's a lot more in there. So I hope that helps anyone that's having difficulty navigating that site. Not sure I want to put it there. If I want to kind of, I think I want to put it there. Yeah, and I only need tape. I don't need to glue that. I think I'll add 2 strips of tape. Oops, it's got some fuzzies on it. So today's the first day in a week that I actually wanted to eat breakfast. I think I am on the mend. I have to get back on some proper eating habits and trying to shed a few pounds before our trip so that I can actually wear the same clothes I wore. That would be good. My weight has always been a struggle. Well, not always. When I was younger, no problem, but something happened. Which they can't figure out. I've had every test you can imagine. So I don't stress over it anymore. It is what it is. I stopped worrying about what other people thought of me, you know. Okay, so I won't be featured on the cover of a magazine, but who cares? There we go. Oh, I quite like that. Wonderful. Now, this was going to go here. So let's glue that in. I like this style of pocket because it gives you more writing space on the page. Because of the little sweetheart dip is what I call it. Oh, I wanted to glue this part. I forget to do that sometimes. And I'm going to pop that out of here. Hopefully you're still on camera. So my husband and I have been watching this program. I don't know what it's called actually. I seem to come in partway to him turning it on. But it's these guys who build these log cabins, right? It's a huge company up in, I think it's Williams Lake in Canada here, which is up north. And they make the most beautiful log cabins you've ever seen. And they get commissions from wealthy people, let's say, who get these mansions built in their log cabin on the inside, but they look like a house on the outside. So they build the frame, and then I guess another company comes in and builds around the frame. And, oh my goodness, these guys, they are so talented. And anyway, the episode we were watching, they were up in Barkerville, which is in Quesnel, I believe, also in British Columbia, East BC. And it's where the gold rush was, so it was a big gold rush town. And they have this place you can go, Barkerville, and you can actually pan for gold there. And my best friend was just there. Her brother and sister-in-law just moved up to Quesnel. I have another friend that lives up there too. And she went to Barkerville. So she brought me home this cute little fridge magnet that's a little panning. It's got little gold flecks in it. Real gold flecks in it, too. And so I'll never go hungry, you guys. But the episode was on them. I guess what they did was they were commissioned to do this mine shafts around, and it's like it's covered over the mine shaft, and then they built like a thing that when you turn the handle, one bucket goes down and one bucket comes up, and so it's all done authentic. They used the actual type of nails they would have used back in the 1800s. So that was kind of cool watching that. I don't think I've ever been to Barkerville. Ken's been to Barkerville, but he was a kid at the time. So I said to him, well, that's a trip for us. That's a nice road trip. It's beautiful country up there. So I think we might go to Barkerville when the weather gets better, because now, no, it's snowing. Or off and on it's snowing. And I don't even have snow tires. Because where I live, you pretty much don't need them. And if you do get a day where it snows, yeah, you just stay home. That's how I deal with the snow. I just don't go out. It's so funny, though, when it does happen here occasionally. And people, oh, they freak out so bad. Oh no, it's snowing. And there's like 1/4 of an inch of snow on the ground. It's so funny. When I was a kid, we did have an odd winter, and we had snow, and there was so much snow it actually hit the undercarriage of my car, which, like, that's a lot of snow for us. And my car was awesome in the snow. I gotta tell you, I had a little Volkswagen Rabbit at the time. It's funny, I have a Volkswagen Rabbit now too, but it was a standard, and so I was plowing through the snow like nobody's business. I had bald summer tires, I was poor. I didn't have money for stuff like that. But I had absolutely no problem in the snow. Of course, front wheel drive. And looks like much easier. Okay, what did I do? Oh, I see what I did. I separated the pages. Ha! It's like, why does that look funny? Okay, probably should have waited before I cut that, but patience isn't one of my virtues. Okay, let's start from the center. We have envelope. Just making sure I haven't put them out of order. Oh, I want to ink those. Okay. And then this page. And that'll go there. I'm not sure I might put something there. Well, I do have this little doily cut. I could put that one there. Or I could try a different paper. Maybe. I found a scrap of this yellow. I don't think it's enough to do a doily out of. Well, it might be. I love the color of this one. Got a nice texture on this side. I'm going to see if I can get something out of that. And then I'll have a blue one on one side and a yellow one on the other. Okay. Now, that has to sit there. And then that has to sit up higher. Okay. And then that goes back. Oh yeah, I wanted to put some, oh, and there's another pocket. So that's got to go on here. Oh, I was going to put it, where was I putting it? Yeah, that page. Okay, I'll glue that on. I want to put some trim on this one. Now, I really love this, but I don't know if I like it for that. I do kind of like that. I don't want to do the same. What else have I got? Oh, I do have that one. Which was my first choice, I think, on the other one. I believe I got this from eBay. I want to say it was eBay. Yeah, some pretty good trims there. Good prices. So that program I was telling you about, they built this guy's log cabin. Well, it was a log mansion, and it was humongous. They had 2 kids. Humongous home. Like, you could probably comfortably put 10 people in it and still have room. It was absolutely stunning. Of course, my husband's dream home is a log cabin. I love all the natural wood. It was really cool because they had put this two trees together so that it formed an arch, and that was how they got into their bedroom. It was beautiful. If you ever get a chance to check it out, if I can think of the name of it, I'll let you know. Oh, that's the wrong side. Okay then. They travel all over. They go down to the States a lot to build cabins down there. Big commissions. A lot of stuff they build where their shop is, or it's huge. It'd have to be, because some of those logs are so big. And they dry fit it all together, and then they ship it to the location and then put it all together again. And I'm telling you, some of those logs, well, there's some pretty big trees here in Canada. What did I do with it? There it is. Not too much glue there. Kind of squished out. Okay. And that's nice. I don't know if I should tea stain it. Maybe I will. Somebody suggested to me that I use my ink pad to dye my seam binding. I was aware that you could do that, but the ink is very water reactive, so I don't know how permanent the coloring would be, and I hate to take the chance in someone's paid for book. So, yeah. Not likely will I do that. What did I do with my tea? Oh, there it is. Now, if I had that color ink in like an archival, then that'd be awesome. Yeah. But I'm not unhappy with that water slide. It does take 2 coats, but that's okay. I cut a small portion, you know, for a couple of tags, and then if I need more. So I don't want to do a whole bunch up in advance because I may never use it again, right? So I kind of do it as I go. It's different if it's a neutral color, like, you know, a brownie color or whatever. I'll do a bunch up. I mean, quite frankly, I like tea staining it. It looks awesome tea stained. Okay. Yeah, I think that's nicer. Just takes away that bright yellow, even though it's a gorgeous yellow. The yellow in here isn't, I guess some of them are, but most of them aren't quite that bright. And you know, did I make a cover page? I'll have to look into that. I don't know that I did. And if I haven't, then I will make one, and I'll just put it in the store as a free download. I don't recall making a front cover, and that's I usually do. What time's it getting to be? Oh, almost lunchtime. Okay, I'll get this glued on, and then I think that'll be it. I'll probably work more on the book today, but I won't film it. Because you have to have some things, you know, to show for the flip through, right? Okay, that is going right here. So that, yeah. Yeah, I'm going to butt it right up. Ooh, I was talking to Vintage Moss last night, Janice, and she's getting ready to design a new kit. Now, if you've looked at her kit, she has one. She works full-time, you know, so she doesn't have the kind of time that I have. But what an artist this woman is, I'm telling you. Yeah, she's a good friend of mine, but I'm not lying. She's so talented. And she did this one, and she called it Masquerade. Oh, man, is it gorgeous. I made a book out of it, so if you can find that video, check out the book, because, oh, it's such a beautiful kit. And she's had a number of sales on it, but she's starting a new one. And her thing is she loves ravens. So for all you people out there who love ravens, well, get ready. I don't know how long it'll take her to do this kit, but you should check out her channel. Vintage Moss, MOSS. And she's got a few books that she's created that she put on her channel. And yeah, you just sort of get an idea of her talent. She is extremely talented. I'm thinking more along the lines of maybe that's distracting. Ah, I should put this one in there. It says patience. Well, that one definitely shows up more because of the white writing. Well, that's kind of nice there. I have that one. I like this one too. Let's do that one. I like it. Okay, let's find a... Let's see what I've got left. Gee, so I did use a blank one. Okay. I love that one. Excellent. That's going to fit nice. And let's try some of that. Oh, I wanted to mention, when I have my tags and I punch the center out, because this, when you print it, it'll be white, obviously. So I punch it out, then I take my Tombow, if I can find my Tombow. Oh, I might have thrown it in the box. I'll just put the tip inside and give it a swirl. So you can match up the color to whatever, you know, your circular thing is there, and then it doesn't show the core, because sometimes you don't get the hole punched right exactly where it's supposed to be. So if you just use your little bit of ink, instead of trying to get an inker in there, you know, yeah, use a pen. Works much easier. Not long enough. And because this has been sprayed, it's not slippery anymore. So you don't need to double knot it or glue it or anything if you don't want to. It won't slip out. Okay, let's see. How much do I want? Yeah, that's good. Come on. See what I mean? It doesn't slide easily, so there we go. That's better. And I think I want to shred that a little bit. Like that beat up look. That needs to be shorter, that one. There we go. Excellent. So, if you want it to kind of droop, put it down in your book and then close it for a while. You'll get it to soften and bend a little. So I'm going to end it here, guys. I need to go have some lunch, and so we'll probably talk tomorrow. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye.